All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And there was a time when a black man being shot by the police, or anybody for that matter, would be front page news, plastered all over the news. But now it occurs so frequently that we barely hear about these events. Now, this is an event that happened in June of this year, where 38-year-old Daniel Hayes was shot by 3 deputies simultaneously while he was at his job at Arby's. I want to play you this news article, and then I'll be right back with a little more commentary. This video is fair use for literary and commentary purposes only. Just watch. And actually, you can actually see already the desensitization of this young man's life as the article reads, felony suspect killed in deputy-involved shooting. Felony suspect, not a man, but a felony suspect. Just watch.
Escambia County deputies shot and killed a man at the Arby's restaurant on Highway 98 in Pensacola today. Family members are identifying him as 37-year-old Daniel Lewis Hayes. Deputies say he was wanted on felony warrants from a domestic violence case back on June 13th. The sheriff's office says Hayes committed domestic battery strangulation, aggravated assault by holding a screwdriver to the victim's throat, burglary, and grand theft. Haley Sample is joining us now from the scene with more. Haley?
Bob, all afternoon, family members surrounded this Arby's, grieving the sudden loss of Daniel Hayes. And deputies say it all started around 3 o'clock this afternoon when they received a call that Hayes was seen at this restaurant.
Family members tell me Daniel Hayes worked in the kitchen at this Arby's. When deputies arrived, they spotted Hayes in the parking lot. Officers say Hayes fled inside after seeing the deputies. 3 deputies then followed Hayes into the restaurant. Deputies say Hayes jumped over the counter and struggled with a deputy before pushing one of them to the ground. They say Hayes then grabbed a large knife and ignored several commands to drop it. When Hayes moved aggressively towards them, the deputies opened fire with the knife still in his hand. All 3 deputies fired at Hayes, striking him several times. I spoke with Hayes' aunt earlier today off camera. She tells me this behavior is uncharacteristic of her nephew.
He's not a mean person. He's not a bad person. He was always smiling. And this is some bull. I want to see some cameras out of Arby's and police dash cams or they body cams. That's what we want. But I know that what they're saying, that's not my nephew.
Deputies say Hayes died on the scene. No deputies or bystanders were injured during the encounter.
A spokesperson with the sheriff's office says FDLE will take over the investigation from here. And according to the sheriff's office, all 3 deputies will be put on administrative leave as the investigation continues. Live in Escambia County, I'm Haley Sample.
All right, and if you notice at the beginning of that news report, they immediately started reading the charges that he was alleged to have done, strangling, pulling out a screwdriver, and all of these felony stuff. That immediately creates a loss of sympathy for this man's life. Oh, he did that? Well, of course, the deputies were justified in his shooting. Now, they're saying that they received a call. Now, I'm not sure of the history. I think it was a domestic violence report where, maybe the girl who, he was alleged to have done this to sent the police to his job. Now, they said he'd been working there for quite some years, so evidently he was an upstanding citizen. They saw him in the car. He ran behind the counter. According to them now, all of this is allegedly, and then he struggled with the deputy, pushed the deputy down, and then he grabbed the knife. So that makes it seem like he got the deputy on the ground with a knife to his throat, which is furthest from the truth as well. But they said he then refused to drop the knife and moved aggressively. What does that mean? Just like the family member said, we want to see some camera footage from Arby's and the body camera footage. And they said all 3 deputies were forced to fire and he expired at the scene. And of course, these deputies are on paid leave. It's almost, once again, like they get a reward whenever they take a life. They get time off, they get free pay, they get, evaluations, and possibly they get extra stripes added to their, KKK belt. But we're going to listen to next the sheriff chime in and explain how, there were people in the restaurant and, that it was such a danger. Well, if there was someone, so if you were concerned about the people in the restaurant, then of course you wouldn't be shooting at a man whom you already have isolated and contained behind the counter. What could he have done? But just check out this other video, and we're going to see once again how this sheriff paints the narrative of, these officers had to do it to protect human life. Just watch.
3 sheriff deputies are on paid administrative leave right now after a deadly restaurant shooting. The sheriff says deputies were there to arrest a man on outstanding felony warrants when things escalated. Our Dacian Smith with the latest on this investigation. Dacian, what are you hearing about what led to that gunfire?
Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons says the suspect did pull a knife on deputies and ignored multiple commands to drop it. So he says when he started moving towards them aggressively, they had no choice but to open fire.
A chaotic scene at the Arby's on Highway 98 ended in a deputy-involved shooting that left a man dead. Family members identified the man as 37-year-old Daniel Hayes and say he was normally pretty laid back.
He's more of the humble, smiling, generous, loving. You can talk to him about anything, and he'd be there to answer any calls or whatever, smiling all the time.
Several family members were on scene Thursday night trying to process what happened. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office says Hayes had felony warrants stemming from a domestic incident last Friday, including accusations that he held a screwdriver to the victim's throat. Investigators say they got a tip that Hayes was at the Arby's, where his family says he worked for years. Sheriff Chip Simmons says when deputies arrived, Hayes ran inside, jumped over the counter, and pushed a deputy to the ground before grabbing a knife.
There were people there that were getting food. There were employees there. It's unfortunate that he chose to jump the counter and get back into the rather confined employee area. There were at least 3 other employees that I noticed on the body camera footage that were in that area.
Sheriff Simmons says Hayes took several things out of his pockets, but ignored commands to drop the knife. He says 3 deputies opened fire, killing him. Hayes' family says the whole incident doesn't seem real, but Sheriff Simmons says he feels deputies had no choice but to shoot.
I just don't see that. I really don't. I don't see him doing nothing they saying. I don't see it. Like I said, once again, he's a nice going guy, laughing. He always smiling.
I think that this whole thing happened within just a few seconds. When you have a deadly force situation, when you have people that are that close to the suspect, I think that you have an obligation to protect yourself and others. And I think that's what they did.
Sheriff's Office says the 3 deputies will remain on paid administrative leave until the Florida Department of Law Enforcement finishes its investigation.
All right, so there you see that redneck sheriff talking about, well, I think they had to, you have a deadly force situation. You have to do what you have to do to protect them. And I think that's what they did. I think. Once again, they said the man was already in a confined space. So what was he going to do? He wasn't going to harm anybody he's been working with for years. He moved aggressively. Once again, we want to see the body cam footage. What does that mean? What I seen on the body cam footage, well, let us be the judge. And so I don't know if that body cam footage has been released. I think I'm going to send a request to see that footage as well. But these are, in my opinion, assassination squads. When they come in there, you just see them. They said he was trying to get some things out of his pocket. Maybe he has some illegalities in his pocket, trying to get away. But this is an epidemic, a phenomenon where police, first thing they do is justify it by saying, he moved aggressively. If he moves aggressively, you have tasers, you have mace, you have all of those things. You have that the gun should be the last resort. But in this case, in these cases, we have seen the gun to be the first resort in these cases. So we're going to start, trying to get some of those footages so we can see, because this happened once again in July or June of this year, 5 months ago. And nobody knows about this. I found this case while looking up another case, looking up some information on another case, and this popped up. So this how they are doing these things. discreetly, but as the scripture said, everything that is hidden shall be revealed. And that's what we will continue to do. Ephesians 5:11, take no part in the works of darkness, rather expose them, because it is a shame to even speak of the things that they do in secret. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. If you like this channel and have not subscribed, please do so. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it allows this channel to be more prevalent in the internet spaces. But I do thank you, and especially you, for liking, watching, sharing, commenting, engaging in this content. And as always, I pray you have peace and blessings. Scripture says, all things that are hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret shall be exposed on the mountaintop.
Let's go, Rich. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Who keep the people informed? Stories abroad from literary work where the narrative's wrong. The research is always on point, the commentary is hard. It's Rich Teller raising the bar. Follow along, shout out to FBA, still FTP. Big up NFAC and all my black families. It's three sides to all stories. Which one you gon' believe? We run down on the false prophets when they come to deceive. 100% urban world news, current events. We don't like them lies. Media is biased. We got God beside us. Ladies and gents is power. If you don't know by now, look around. We the darkest hours. Cops squeezing hammers cause they don't understand us. We stop and freeze with our hands and kill us off like cancer. Don't speculate before the facts on the case. Telehouse, set them straight. My smoking rich investigate. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune in to Telehouse Publishing.
Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long.